So they can arise in the plane of which the 5 aggregates or 4 aggregates. It means this 42 type of consciousness, they can arise in this sense sphere plane, right? And also Rupavajara plane. The 5 aggregate. So when they arise, depend on this plane. This being a Hariya, right? Hariya. But if they arise in Arupa, formless sphere, they don't have eye, formless sphere, don't have eye, don't have ear, don't have tongue, don't have body, don't have heart. So they cannot arise in depend on any base, right? In Arupa sphere, formless sphere. That's why this 42 type of consciousness either dependent on or independent of the heart base. Yes, depend, right?
That's like mind. Heart is symbolism, right?
Oh yeah, heart is the. I explain to you later. Heart is heart. Heart is not mind.
Because the first class you had, you said that
Yeah.
that was similar to
No. Heart is the heart. Here, different. Here we talking about basis. Base should be material property. Eye sensitivity, ear sensitivity, right? And nose sensitivity, tongue sensitivity, body sensitivity, and heart. And heart is the seat of consciousness. The seat of consciousness. Here, we have different idea here. Different idea. Some heart is the seat of consciousness. This for in those days, some commentary they say that heart is the seat of consciousness. But for the Buddha, it's not exactly said. Our mind is based on the heart. He said, based on rupa, any rupa, material property, maybe depend on heart or maybe depend on our brain. May depend on some stuff, material property is not exactly heart. But here, according to commentary, they call heart-based. Right, heart-based. And the last one, know what to, no base. What is no without base? 4. What is 4? Arupavajara vipaga here. Arupavajara vipaga here, what is their function? Pati, Sandhi, Bhavanga, Juti, 3 function. So in Arupa plane, right, they perform their function as the formless sphere. Right, formless sphere. So they don't have form, rupa, right there. So this arupa, vipaga 4 are independent of arise without any base. Do you remember how they can arise? No, the Dharamana is the Sandrana 3, investigating consciousness 3, and Mahavipaka. Now we're talking about formless sphere, resultant consciousness, not the Dharamana. Right? So, now we know this, the 6 bases, and without base, what type of consciousness, arise depend on what base. We already know that here. So A here is always, S here means sometimes here, the plane, 31 planes of existence, we already know, have chart, right? 31 planes of existence. So 11 Kamavajara plane, sense, sphere, plane, right? 11. What is 11? 4 woeful state, and human world, and celestial realm, right? 11 you call Kamavajara planes, and 16 Rupavajara plane. Yeah, The system is the one plane of mindless being and others 15 planes. Already know that, right? One plane is mindless being. The remains the 15 is that they have mind and matter. So we have Rupavajara plane, 16. Arupavajara formless sphere plane, 4. Altogether 31. These 31 planes of existence. And here all the 6 Vutu bases found in 11 Kamajara plane. See that, right? This means the woeful state, right? And human world, celestial being, this 11th plane, we can find all these 6 bases. Right? This means we have eye, we have ear, we have nose, tongue, body, and heart. But there is an exception. Have some exception. In the case of those who are born blind, we are born blind. Do they have the eye base? No. Who are born deaf? No. Ear base? Something like that, so the exception. For especially, I would like you to know this Jakku, this eye, Sota, ear, and Hadaya heart, found in 15 Rupavajara planes. So this means the plane of mindless being excluded, right? 15 Rupavajara plane, they have 3 bases. They have eye base, ear base, and heart. So this means, what's it mean? They don't have nose base. Remember that. They don't have nose base, tongue base, body base. They don't have that. Why? They have the eye, ears, heart base. They don't have the nose, tongue, body base. You have the reason, you understand that. This to utilize this the eye base, ear base, and heart base for the good purposes. When the Buddhas appear in this world, get enlightenment, they come to pay respect, to pay homage to the Buddha. If they don't have eye, they cannot see. This is the good purpose when the Buddha appear in this world, to be able to go to pay respect, pay to homage to the Buddha. So they want to have eye, so they have eye base for the Brahma, For this Sota, ear base. So they would like to listen the Dhamma from the Buddha. Right? This for good purpose. This they need to have this ear base. That's why the ear base. For Hadaya, so this their mind, the state of consciousness, this there wants to have that. That's why to utilize the 3 bases for the good purposes. The Brahma, in 15 plane of Brahma, they have the 3. But for the nose base, you see the nose base, tongue base, is to have the burden for them, a problem for them. Even if you have nose, you cannot gain any merit from your nose. You cannot get any merit from this tongue. Your body just serve them, every day. We need some good smell, we need some good food, we need some dress, something like that. So the Brahma say, it's useless for them, useless for them. They are just temporarily inhibited, the desire for the sensual pleasure. They don't want this nose base, tongue base, and body base. That's why when we be born in the Rupavajara plane, they don't have this 3 bases. So even they don't have The sensitivity, eye sensitivity, they don't have the nose sensitivity, tongue sensitivity, and body sensitivity, but the organs exist. It's not no nose. If no nose, how come Brahma no nose? They have nose, they have tongue, Otherwise they cannot speak, no tongue. So the organs that just exist, but not their sensory faculties, no sensitivity. You have to understand that. So like nowadays, even in front of the Sisa Palace, what do you say? It's the four faces Brahma, right? Somebody has four faces Buddha. It's not Buddha. You should understand that. This is Brahma. Brahma. It's the four faces. Really, it's the Brahma. It's not four faces. Not for only one face. Like us, you have eye, you have ear, nose, tongue, body, one face. I already told you one time, right? About this Brahma, four faces. This four faces just represents as the metta, loving kindness, karuna, compassion, right? Mudita, sympathetic joy, and ubekha, equanimity. This represents this four sublime state. It's four faces Brahma, because they, every day this is just stay with this four sublime state. That's we call Brahma. But people, create them as the four faces. Only one face. As they don't have their no sensitivity, they don't know. They don't like a smell, good smell, bad smell. They can experience about the smell, right? So the people take many food to offer to the Brahma, but Brahma don't have tongue sensitivity. They don't eat like us. They stay with their jhana, right? They don't eat. They will study about at chapter 6. They don't eat. When you touch their body, they cannot feel no sensation, because no body sensitivity, right? And here, no vatu found in the four arupa plane. This formless sphere, four, no vatu, no basis. How can they survive? This mind alone exists, even without assist of consciousness, by the power of meditation, they can exist. By the power of meditation. So, we know 31 plane of existence. Now, what plane, how many bases they have. So, you know that, right? Every plane, 31 plane of existence, what kind of plane, what kind of bases they have, why they don't have, something like that, we already know. And 7 vijnana dhatu, just refer, you already know that. 7 vijnana dhatu, how many consciousness they have are? Briefly, 89, right? 89. This 89 here, very easy here. Jakku vijnana 2. What do we call Jakku vijnana? We call Jakku vijnana dhatu. Right? Jakku vijnana dhatu. Sota vijnana 2 are called Sota vijnana dhatu. Ghana vijnana 2, they call Ghana vijnana dhatu. Jinva vijnana 2, Jinva vijnana dhatu. Right? You already know the meaning in English, right? Kaya vijnana 2, the Kaya vijnana dhatu. And Mano dhatu here. What's Mano dhatu? Sambadhichana 2 plus Pancha Dvara Uchana 1. They call Mano dhatu, my element, right? So the last one, Mano vijnana dhatu. The remaining 76 type of this consciousness we call Mano vijnana dhatu. So if you would like to know in English, should like that. Jakku vijnana dhatu. Jakku, what means jakku? Eye. Vijnana, consciousness. Dhatu, element. So, eye consciousness element. Right? Ear consciousness element. nose consciousness element, tongue consciousness element, body consciousness element, and mind element. And how about mano vinyana dhatu? Mind consciousness element. Right? Yeah. So 7, right? So remember, mind element and mind consciousness elements different. Right? So all this, the 89 type of consciousness, they have 7 vinyana dhatu, 7 vinyana dhatu, right? Dhatu. Dhatu here, what's mean dhatu? You please note that the dhatu, not dhatu. Dhatu is mean here that which carry its own characteristic. It carry their own characteristics. Ma is dhatu. They are devoid of being or life. We can call Chekuyana is the being, is life, right? That's dhatu. That's the, here's the, carry its own characteristic. What is the Chekuyana characteristic of Chekuyana? Just seeing, you see? Just seeing. This your seeing is the being or not? No, not man, it's not woman, it's not me, that's not I, it's not you. Seeing is just a Chekuyana, eye consciousness, just see this characteristic. Something like that, you know. That's why this dhatu, that which carry its own characteristic mark, is dhatu. They are devoid of being or life. So we study here all these realities, right? It's not being, it's not life, it's their nature. And so now we already know the 31 planes of existence, and we already know 7 vinyana dhatu. So what plane, what vinyana dhatu?